All right, so we have 6 rounds total, and we're going for time here. That basically means there are 3 rounds for each pair of people, so every pair gets to go through 3 rounds. Take your time and make sure you understand the setup before you start. We call that a 2-pair. First round, 1 male athlete and 1 female athlete will go in and do 16 wall-facing handstand push-ups. First, the guys do 5, the girl does 3. Guy 5, girl 3. Then they'll do 8 synchro bar muscle-ups, and then 8 synchro pistols. First 4 on one leg, then 4 on the other leg. I think we have to start with the right leg, but I'll have to check that. After that, they'll advance the round marker 1 segment, go back to the start line, and then the other team goes. They'll repeat that 6 times. Maybe you want to show the floor plan so it's more visible. This time, we're going to start at that green mark. We'll go in and face that wall that's next to the rig. Like I said, the sequence is 5 male, 3 female wall-facing handstand push-ups. 5-3, 5-3. Then, on the bar in front, there'll be a pad there, a riser. So male and female now do 8 synchro bar muscle-ups. Move forward, and then there are 2 dumbbells. And with those dumbbells, the athletes will do pistols. 4 on one leg, 4 on the other. They'll advance the marker. The judge will advance the dumbbells. The athletes will return to the start line. The other pair goes, repeats the same thing. The team advances. In the 6th round, the other 2 athletes not involved can move up a bit more. And after the team is finished completing the 6th round, they are then allowed to proceed and enter the finish line, which you will find located on the right side of the course. That finish line is the one that is marked in red, making it easy to spot. Wall-facing handstand push-up. Athletes can enter however they want. They can do a wall walk. They can do... I'm not going to make any more suggestions on what to do, but please enter safely. The handstand push-up standards are similar to any typical CrossFit regulation. So there's going to be a line around 75 centimeters out, which is about 25 centimeters from the wall. In the HSPU, both arms have to touch the line the whole time. The tips of the feet touch the wall. At the start, arms completely extended and the shoulders aligned, so everything in a straight line. And at the bottom, the head has to touch the floor. The head doesn't necessarily have to touch the line, but it has to touch the floor. There will be a pad, yes. The rep is cred receives cred. When the tips of the feet stay on the wall and hips, arms, and legs are completely extended and the shoulders are aligned with the body. In the adapted category, there's the wall walk, and then the wall walk rules from the CrossFit Open that you already know apply. But here it's not 16, it's only 8 alternating reps. So one athlete after the other athlete will do this. Synchronized bar muscle ups. So both athletes have to be on top of the bar at the same time. And in the synchronized chest to bar, which is for scaled, both athletes' chests have to touch the bar at the same time. Pistol. So the athlete starts in full extension with the hips, knees extended, and will hold the load, so in this case, the dumbbell, in front of the chest. Before starting the movement, an athlete has to lift their leg off the floor and make sure to keep that leg positioned in front of the body for the entire movement throughout the whole time. For the first 4 repetitions, you'll be using your right leg while you perform each repetition carefully. 4 reps with the left leg. The hip crease, which is located just below parallel of that working leg. And the representative receives credit when both athletes are standing again. Synchronized means both athletes have to be at the bottom of the squad at the same time. For adapted, for scaled, double the reps, so 16, but here they're goblet squats. Relatively simple. It's a squat with the dumbbell in front of the chest, synchronized. Observe the position of the hip crease, which is located just below the patella or kneecap for both athletes, making sure to check this at exactly the same time for each individual. Questions?
Galau, I can't. Strict wall facing or kipping wall facing?
I don't know. I think maybe, Mauricio, if you send us a video of you doing the wall face and kip, then I'd be very grateful. I don't know how that would be possible.
Good. Look, a question from Nathalia here. Does the man have to do 5 wall facing, then the woman 3, then the man 5, and then the woman 3? Can't the woman do 10 straight and the man 6? Or vice versa, I think.
No. I think the answer is quite simple here. Yeah, yes. But well, first on this question here, I don't know if it was by accident, but the volume changed. The volume is higher for the men than for the women. So it'd be 10 for the man and 6 for the woman. But no, we'd like to alternate 5-3-5-3. You have to coordinate a little bit better.
Okay. Look, this answers Anton's question here as well. He asks if the man has to do 5 and the woman 3, or if they can do the opposite. So, same thing. You can't, right? Man is 5 and woman is 3. You can't do the opposite.
You can. That's a good one. I'll think about that. Anton, so thanks for the question. It's a good thing for the future. For this competition, we decided to do 5, 3 for man and woman. And just for a general explanation for everyone, it's that this is based on our experience from past competitions. So, watching competitions and observing what happened in our combinations in the athletes' capacities, we're guiding ourselves by that a little bit.
Press it. Question from Louise Dua. The pistols aren't alternated then.
They are 4 and 4.
Question from Eduarda. Can the pair repeat the round?
No,
They can.
alternate. One pair after the other pair.
In the wall-facing handstand push-ups, does the resting athlete wait in a wall-facing hold, or do they have to leave the position?
No, only one person can be on the wall at that time. So one person goes and then leaves, and the other person enters. There aren't two walls. There's no room for two people.
It's just one wall. Perfect. So that answers Louise Doda's question too, about whether the other has to wait in a handstand. Mauricio asked again. Mauricio, send us a video of you doing kip and wall facing. Aguida Fala asked, will there be 2 walls for HSPU? No, it'll be just one wall. Can you switch people during the HSPU or pistis?
No, the pair performing's the same. So the first pair goes, then the second pair goes. So there's only one guy and one girl doing the first round. These athletes can't switch with the pair that's at the starting line.
That pair has to do it all.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to get around. The idea here is that each athlete has to show a certain ability to perform these movements. I understand that maybe one athlete is a little stronger or a little weaker in some movements, but we're specifically testing a part of that. So, not in every event, but in this event here, we're going to want to see some skills from each athlete.
Perfect. Is the weight for the pistol a DB or KB?
Uh, Gundalf.
Here's some questions that have already been answered. Will there be two platforms? No, just one. Is it mandatory for the man to do 5 and the woman 3? It's mandatory. Now, the last question here from Nicholas. Sorry, I didn't hear. So one pair must do a whole round and then switch with the other? Even in the scaled category?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, Nicholas. Very well.
Okay, obviously, in scaled, the movements, just to be clear, for scaled, the movements aren't handstand push ups. Here we have a wall walk, we have chest to bar pull ups, and we have goblet squats. So in scaled, you don't need to do pistols. So I think the movements are still appropriate, and all athletes will probably be able to do them. And if you have any questions about that, please let me know.
Very well. Moving on, Grand?
If there are no more questions, let's go.
Let's go. Event 14. This one, I think no one will have any doubts. This one, I think no one will have any doubts. Wow.
Okay, for the athletes joining now, I think it's already 4 o'clock. We have a meeting now about the individuals, but let's finish up here with the teams. The event is simple, one snatch. You can show the floor plan. This is roughly where the platforms are organized. The team starts behind the platform. First, the girls will enter the platform for 7 minutes. The platform is preloaded with a weight of 105 pounds. The athletes cannot load the bar before that time. They'll only enter when everyone enters at the same time. When the sequence begins, the girls can enter the platform, they can adjust the weight however they want, and then they have 7 minutes to do their lifts. In the first 7 minutes, the men have to stay off the platform. Two girls can help each other put the weights on the bar, but all additional plates. And the athlete who isn't lifting must stay off the platform when the athlete who is lifting performs the lift. For the girls, only the girls can change the weights, and for the boys, only the boys can change the weights. The athlete has to stay within the area. This isn't a platform, it's a tape marking on the floor. The athlete likely has to stay within the taped area the entire time during the lift. So if you're receiving the weight and you step out with the weight off the platform before completing the lift, it'll be marked as invalid. Every attempt that leaves the ground before those 7 minutes and is successful will count. So if in the last second you start the lift and finish it after those 7 minutes, it's still valid if the weight left the ground before the 7 minutes. At 7 minutes, there will be a reset. So the team will put the men's bar on and take the women's bar off the platform. And the men's first attempt can be loaded at that moment. And when the time starts, the men will have 7 minutes to do their lifts, and only they can change the weights. The lift must be fully completed, so the judge has to give the signal before you drop the weight. Back down to the floor. Athletes must use collars on every attempt. And the score is the sum of each athlete's best results. So, if the girls lift, or if all four athletes lift 100 kilos, the team score is 400 kilos. However, I think we'll measure in pounds. So, if the whole team lifts 200 pounds, 4 times 200 pounds is 800 pounds. Questions?
Well, does the weight only go up on the bar or can it go down?
However, the athletes want, they can change the weights. If one girl works with 80 pounds, another with 70, one can make an attempt with 80. They can take the weight off, do the other girl's second attempt. That's all legitimate.
Can we actually do as many attempts as we want, or is there really no limit to the number of times we can try?
Yeah, you can. You have 7 minutes to try. If you want to do one attempt, you can do one. If you want 10, do 10.
Okay. You just answered this question, but since it was asked, what's the total score?
The sum of the four best results from the athletes. So, if each athlete lifts 200 pounds, that's 4 times 200, 800 pounds.
Perfect. Louise asked here, you just answered, right? That you can, yes, lower the weight.
Yes.
Perfect. Any more questions about this event? It's pretty simple, right? For those joining now, if you're here for the individual events, we'll talk about those soon. We're finishing up the team events here, okay?
Okay, let's go to the last way.
Last event. Last event, event 5, final. Let's go.
So 96 synchro dumbbell ground to overhead, 96 calories on the Echo bike, 96 calories on the Echo rower. All of this at the same time, and when everything is finished, the team will go one athlete after another to do 48 feet of handstand walk. So basically, one trip of 4 segments on the floor. Scale will do the same thing with less weight on the dumbbell ground to overhead, and they'll do overhead walking lunges instead of the handstand walk. Time cap is 9 minutes. The top 10, only in the elite category, will go to a final, which is an elimination round. We'll explain that later. So if you can put up the floor plan, great. The athletes will start in the green area, entering the floor. Right at the end on the right side, there are 2 dumbbells. That red part, the people doing ground overhead will do 24 synchronized ground overheads. So the weight is over their heads at the same time. And then they'll move forward every 24 reps toward the green line. So they'll do 4 sets of 24 reps before finishing. The other 2 athletes, meanwhile, will each be working on either the bike or the rower, and together they need to complete a total of 96 calories. The athletes are allowed to switch between the bike and the rower at any point during the workout as often as they want for the entire duration. But obviously, there's a dumbbell for the men, a dumbbell for the girls, so it can't be 2 men or 2 women doing ground to overhead at the same time. After all the reps are finished, they'll put the dumbbells next to the bike and go one person after another. Handstand walk. But one person has to finish the handstand walk and be on the podium before the second person starts their handstand walk. Time comes to a complete stop exactly when both feet of the last athlete have completely crossed and are on the finish line. I think that's it.
Okay. Questions here. Look, Sanchez, he asked if, you already said it, but he asked again if 2 men can be on the machines at the same time. And the answer is no.
Yes, you can do that. You can have one guy on the bike, one guy on the rower, but then you can't do any ground to overhead at that moment because you only have one dumbbell for the men and one dumbbell for the women.
Perfect. That's the only question for this event that we have, Us.
Wonderful. Put up part two, just the floor then.
Part two, just the floor. Let's go.
Super simple. Here, in any order, the men will do 12 calories on the rower. They'll start in the green part, sit on the rower. One person sits on the rower. We'll do 8, 12 calories, and then we'll do the handstand walk. And the second person can sit on the rower when the first person has started the handstand walk. Let me check this here correctly. So, this order is important. Once the first athlete finishes the calories, and after he's gone to the next station, meaning he starts the handstand walk, the next athlete can enter that segment of the floor. The segment would be can get on the echo bike, sorry, the echo rower, and then can do his rowing. After the first athlete finishes the handstand walk, and after putting their feet on the podium, the next athlete can come to this part and start the handstand walk. So, no, two athletes can do the handstand walk at the same time. I think the details will be even more visible when you can actually see it live in person. What happens here? The last two teams to finish will be eliminated and the workout starts over again. This will happen 5 times until there's only one team left. For those who want an idea, I recommend looking at videos from recent years. We did something similar. Questions?
Look, regarding this part, there aren't any, but Anto asked if, about the first part skill. If they finish the dumbbell snatches, can the man then go to the machine where the woman is?
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can. Go, and Sanchez. Callion's asking if the live stream will be saved. It'll be saved, Callie. Don't worry.
It'll be Callion. And we're very sorry about the delay. We're going to talk about the individuals in just a moment.
Eduarda asked, to skip to the second part, will there be a scale final like this?
Okay. This last part, part two, is only for elite because then there are 30 teams. The top 10 go to the final.
Perfect. There's no second part for scale. Any more questions, Tees? Otherwise, we'll go straight to the individual, right, Jost? Or do you want to wrap up?
You can cut here to, or do you do that later? How does it work?
We can end this and start another one. If you bite,
People are already watching, aren't they?
they're already watching. Kalima's already there, actually.
Can you maybe cut it later, please?
I'll cut it later, no problem.
Okay, that's fine. I think so. We don't bother anyone. Let's go into the individuals.
All right, then. Send me upload the files here, then. In the meantime, team folks, we're going to save this live stream, okay? If you have any questions, you can watch it again. In fact, we'll have them saved in English and Spanish. We'll translate them, and they'll be here translated in those 2 languages on our YouTube channel. We'll post the links on Instagram for anyone who wants to watch later. Remembering that this isn't an official Copa Sur briefing. This is a Q&A session for you to better understand the flow. And if you want to train with your teams and all that, the official briefing will happen at Copa Sur. And there are some details, actually, that aren't fully defined here yet, which will only be defined on the day of the event, okay?
Okay, Kalal, so I just finished uploading the very first one, but I think what we'll do first before anything else is actually put the workout, the event itself, right, into our view. That way we can see everything clearly and make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'll put the individual events now, but I needed the floor plans.
Yeah, the first floor plan, I put it in, but it's named screenshot.